Before, everyone said I wouldn't fight Lara, I fought Lara. Everyone said I wouldn't fight Golovkin, I fought Golovkin. So isn't it inevitable you fight Benavidez? That's what you
If
do.
the money is right, in the same night.
Yeah.
I enjoy boxing so much.
If you do that fight and you beat Benavidez, what will you say to the people who doubted you?
Easy. But it's gonna be other fighters out there. You're gonna say, now he don't wanna fight these guys. It's always somebody else.
Is that not
How much longer do you think you have left in the game?
A lot. I feel in my prime. Like Mayweather say, John, fresh, rich, and handsome.
Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia tonight. We are about to call this fight live. So welcome to each of you who are here tuning in right now to the Fight Show live commentary by me, aka the Real Fight Doctor. So welcome aboard. What we're going to do is get directly into some serious textbook boxing, and we're going to educate every single person who does not have over 40 years in the game like myself. And I'm going to make sure that this is going to be something that you will never, ever forget. So make sure if you're going to join us when we do the scorecards, I'm going to commentate the fight. And based on what I speak of out my mouth, you have to take that as Bible. And I want you guys to follow this scorecard that I'm going to drop. And I'm going to give you guys some insight. So make sure you guys are ready. Hopefully you got your snacks, because this next hour is going to be lit. We are going to really cover this fight like we used to do back in the training camps. I take it back in 2005 and 6 when we were with going against Vitaly Klitschko. And I remember being in the ESPN zone with Larry Merchant, Jim Lampley, and I learned a lot about this sport from the inside at that level, because that was one of the first pay-per-views that I got the opportunity to take advantage of, being a part of, and I saw so much that I had not seen before. So I decided that it would be great if I uncovered a lot of things that happened from leading up the peak week to that final day of training. And what we're going to do for you guys, that I thought that it would be good, because we've taken some polls over on our social media, and we found out that a lot of people really want to understand, how do you actually prepare the final weeks of camp, and what does that entail? So I think you guys appreciate the fact that we're going to uncover each one of these guys' styles. And as we uncover their styles, we're going to let you know what exactly is it that they could have done during the fight. So you're going to have it real, and it's going to be real time. And I think it'll give you a different perspective of what actually happens in the sport of boxing. So shout out to my TikTokers, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of you, we're about to take a ride. Before I get started breaking this thing down, I like to introduce myself. For those of you who have never watched this channel, boy, you are late to the dance. My mama called me Eric A. Bradley, aka the Real Fight Doctor, and there is no other on this level. With 4 decades in the game, over 40 training camps in the world championship level, 3rd generation education. This is what we're going to give you guys. So I think that you might as well get ready to chug a log and have fun, because you're going to learn some stuff tonight. Special shouts out to my brothers in the School of Boxing, which is our online training program that we teach our athletes, our coaches, and the guys, so that they can be the next generation of these leaders, like the Robert Garcias, like the Eddie Hearns, all of these good promoters, and all of these Derek James. There's a lineage that goes with that. So for those who don't know, we educate you, and hopefully that we can answer some questions. If you got them over here on TikTok, make sure you drop them. If you got questions over here on Facebook, over here on Instagram, make sure you drop them. But one of the things that's for sure, we're about to get it cracking. Now, I got to say special shouts out to my people who keep the lights on. Jab Juice Consultants, keeping the combat world up to date, up to speed, because you need identity in this day of social media, and you want to make sure that if you're in the combat game, that you're getting what we call famous for what you do, famous for how good you do it, and very, very popular for how well you'll be remembered as your legacy. That's Jab Juice Consultant. So sponsors in the house, people in the house, special shouts over here. But get ready. We're going to call the fight. The last fight just ended a minute ago, and you saw Mario's Barrios come away with a unanimous decision. The fight card has kind of been lit. They're showing a couple of real playback, throwback fights from Canelo right now. But before we get going, what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame this up and explain what this textbook boxing is all about and what does the fight need to entail. And first of all, it's going to really layer it up, and I think it's going to make a lot of sense, because one thing that I learned as I was coming up under the tutelage of two Olympic boxing coaches and responsible for over 200 champions, almost 300 champions, is that it's important to have things in a textbook format, because your brain cannot hold all of that stuff that you need to carry into the boxing ring. So you have to have what we call this reference guide. All right. And the reference guide, for all of you guys who are fans, you really love the sport of boxing, I want you to remember, confidence is king. So whatever it is that you do that gives you confidence, that gives you that mindset, remember, if you're going to succeed in boxing, these things are vital. And make sure, no matter what, you do not allow anyone to take you off of that stance. Because when you start learning this sport, it's more than just the skills. It's more than just techniques. And it's more than just saying I got skills and sets. You got to know how to have that body language. You got to have that confidence. And if you lack confidence at any point in time in the day, I'm going to tell you, you better think twice about being in the sport of boxing. You have to learn all four phases of this thing. So as we get into it, this is how every fighter, and this is what I want you all to pay attention to. And this term is called the 5 layers of defense. And take this down, because you're going to hear it again, especially if you follow the page. And if you stay close, you see there's a QR code down at the bottom. At the bottom, you're going to have an opportunity to go right down here and get a little something that we got for you for taking the time to watch and follow this feed. But I want you to stay very, very, very clear of what this is. The 5 layers of defense is exactly what you've seen the elevation of Canelo over the past decade. You've seen him go from a very, very violent attacker, someone who likes to throw a lot of punches, someone who likes to be engaged with combinations, hooks to the body, uppercuts, hooks to the head, overhand rights. He mastered it. Shotgun jabs, bazooka jabs, sternum punches, all of those things, they were who he was when he came out. He wanted to be flashy. He wanted to be exactly like Kobe Bryant was when he came out. He developed this persona, the Black Mamba. He would come out, he was coming out to kill. He was not taking prisoners. And so that's what he was when he came out. Same way as Michael Jordan. You remember when Michael Jordan, when he first came out? Special shouts out to the Latinos, to the all of the Mexican fans watching tonight. I'm drinking some Cuban coffee, so I'm feeling quite Latin today. But cheers to you guys. Mexican main events, Mexican undercards, Cinco de Mayo. It's just that time of year. Let's get it popping. Special shouts out to them and everything that they do for the sport of boxing, because that fan base, that mentality, there's something there that the world of boxing needs more of. So if any of you guys out there are training and you're Mexican fighters, listen to your trainers. Stay committed. Don't be around people who pull you away from what you need to do, because it's only going to be you out there. And when you get inside of that boxing ring, so I want you to make sure, no matter what you do, that you contribute your donation, which is your commitment of the sport. And that's what's going to be what separates you and continue to build upon these great Mexican fighters' legacies, because tonight is the battle for Mexican supremacy. And right in the wings, you got another guy who's on the undercard of this guy's fight. Gervonta Tank Davis, you got Benavidez is going to be on the undercard of that fight. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of boxing left this year. So tonight it's just going to be for the first battle, the first round of Mexican supremacy. So if you're about that life, make sure you keep it locked and learn right now the 5 layers of defense in phase 2 of Canelo Alvarez's career. What he did is he decided to add the other wrinkles, the footwork, the hand posture. This is how he was able to control Triple G in the second and third fights when he boxed him. That was the thing. That was the denominator. He had more skills and he had more application. He understand how to use all 5 layers. And let me explain what all 5 layers of defense is. And then I'm going to break down what it will do for you if you have it or if you don't. Footwork sets him up in the ring where he needs to be to take you off of your game. That's what he was able to do to Triple G. He did a lot of it in the first fight, got tired in the second fight because that was his second or third fight at middleweight. So the weight hadn't settled in yet. Forgiven, because I still scored it like I did score it. I didn't think he should not have won that fight. You know, he did a lot of defensive tactics that I'm aware of, but some people don't give people credit for defense. But do you know how hard defense is? Defense is hard. And when you master it, Canelo has mastered it. This is the thing. But then he learned how to use his hand postures and gestures instead of just throwing a lot of punches. He understood how to defend so well that he was better at counterpunching. He got much more slicker and much more quicker. And then his third phase is he started to do more of the rolling shoulder. That's number 3 on your 5 layers of defense. First is those feet, then hand postures, elbows, understanding how to block, and roll shoulders. So 3 and then 4. And then the last but not least, number 5 is the mindset. You got to have the mindset and then implement that language. And he did. And that's where you got this guy you have today. Somebody who actually understands what he is right now. He's not trying to be young gun Canelo. He's not trying to be some flashy version of Chavez. He's thudding now, calculated. His ability to take you into areas that you don't want to be is insurmountable. And he got plenty of practice against Jermell Charlo. You saw how he picked him apart with heavy shots to the arms, heavy shots to the body. He did it to Callum Smith. He understood now where his game is manifesting to. So a lot of people say he's slowing down. No, he's gotten stronger, more dense. The dexterity is settled in with his fluidity, and he can hit you so hard, and he can make it count so much. So when you look at these tactics, you look at these skills and sets, this dude is a savage package. And then you got Munguia. And I'll break down the 2 types of fighters that you're dealing with tonight so that you can talk some stuff when you're talking tomorrow to your boys or after this fight is over. Because when I call this fight, you guys are going to just be enlightened on an entirely different level. But when you got Munguia, someone who comes forward, someone who's learned a little bit more about boxing, he has more of a Tasmanian devil approach. He throws in volume. He comes hard. He's wicked. He has no mercy. He's not playing. He's punishing guys. And this is the perfect collision for the 2 type fighters. And the 2 type fighters that you're dealing with, remember these 2, because you guys got to remember, I'm 3rd generation. So that means I'm super wealthy with textbook knowledge. The two type fighters that you will face or see in boxing is one, input fighter. Input fighter is a person that can maneuver, make adjustments, and adapt. That's what they do first. That's who they are. That's their nature. They're natural counterers. Like I said before, it's just like cornering a squirrel. When you corner a squirrel, that's the most dangerous animal on the planet. When you corner a squirrel, you got a very good chance to get your eyes clawed out. So you go back to people like Chris Bird. You go back to those real slick fighters like James Lights Out Tony. I take it back another step further. People who had charisma in that ring, but not just, they won't calculate it only. They could switch it up. Bud Crawford, that's another one. Input fighter. Then you got an output fighter. That's a person that comes forward like Mike Tyson, Rocky Marciano. They're not looking to counter. They're coming to bring the smoke. And when you got these two things in common, you're dealing with a killer. And so how do you offset that? You offset it with a person who masters the art of the 5 layers of defense. So as you start to see, you're going to get an education that you can actually apply. Munguia is about to walk out right now. So it's it's getting very, very tense. The crowd is kind of quiet. It's not Canelo coming out, so it's not going to be as loud. But he has Freddie Roach in the corner, and these are the denominators, because we're going to segment that we call In the Corner. And in the corner is basically what they should be saying, and I will translate as much of that, but I'm going to give you understanding. And for those of you who are actually inside of the sport, before I take a second, I got to send a special shout out to some of my people up here in the DMV, Norfolk, Hit Squad. Special shouts out to you guys, because I know you guys are tuned in tonight. Special shouts out to my people, Coach Bradley, all of the ones who are up there, Coach Patrice Harris up in DC. You know, all of these guys who will pave the way for the next generation of coaches, who are taking guys and lifting them up to championship status. I want you guys to stay motivated, stay locked in, brother, because you're from my tree. And I know what you guys are up to. I know Golden Boys signing those boys that you guys are bringing through. I know ain't nothing but smoke up there in the DMV. So most of you guys don't understand that. But that's, like I said, this is what it's really like in the real fight game. You're not just listening to some random YouTuber. This is what I did for 4 decades. And now I want you guys to get your notepads out and understand textbook boxing from the highest level. Canelo Alvarez is at a phase right now where these guys is about to come out. He's about to come out. And I want you to let me know down in the comment boxes, who is the one fighter that you want to actually see Canelo go up in the ring against if this night turns out like it's supposed to. And if this was the fight that you actually wanted to see with Munguia, because I do believe when I speak about the coach's corner or the corner's call, that when we speak about him now being in the ring up against somebody like Freddie Roach. We beat Freddie Roach when he was coaching Brian Minto, right? Our fighter Donnell Holmes threw him around the ring like it was nothing in his hometown. It was a very, very, very one-sided fight. But the difference is when you got somebody like Freddie Roach in your corner, what that fighter would have been is nothing like what he actually turned out to be that night in the ring. Freddie Roach is the kind of coach that pushes you to a place. Also, Virgil Hunter is like that. Andre Ward's former coach. They'll push you in the places and they'll bring things out of you. Robert Garcia is that way too. Robert Garcia will teach you a jab like never before. He'll teach you a jab that'll penetrate your career like, he had Maidana fighting Floyd Mayweather like Maidana was that level. I mean, he literally came up there and he looked like a Hall of Fame fighter. Because see, that's what people who have coaches like Robert Garcia, coaches like Freddie Roach, you have to be talented now. They're not building guys who are not good. They you gotta be talented. But when that guy brought the best out of Maidana, do you guys remember him fighting Floyd Mayweather that first time? That was absolutely stupendous. That performance, it definitely went down as one of the greater fights in the welterweight division between two of the top fighters. Two different styles, nonetheless, but input and output fighters for sure. Because Floyd had to collect the data, and it took him 2 fights to collect all of the data. But when you got somebody who's like Maidana, truly underrated, who out here in this game has seen Marcos Maidana and who was a fan of him? Drop it down in the comment boxes if you saw him going up against Floyd Mayweather, because that was an epic fight. It could have went either way. Some people think that, but when you really score the rounds and not giving them rounds on charity because he was tougher than most, but that understanding of how to fight the second half of the fight is what most people don't understand how to do. Canelo's coming out. He's rocking the black and teal, looking really sharp. He's just always on top of his game. He's just always on top of his game, man. I just want you all to sit back and enjoy this tonight, because we are about to call this fight like never before. If you ain't never seen this before, you are about to be in an entirely different zone. So get your popcorn out. Let me read a couple of comments over here on my people on YouTube. What's up, Mr. Wallace? John Wallace, it's all good, man. YouTube's in the building. Special shouts out. Let us know where you're watching from. Holla at your man. Let me see. I see you out here popping up links. How did you? Oh, I'm great, man. I'm feeling super. Let me see. Who's my people? Harold Bazaar, 55 couch, Norris trainer, Eric. Okay. Yeah. Okay, thanks. And let me see. My guy, Floyd, what's up, brother? Big Cinnamon. Yeah. Cinnamon is going to be in the building. This is one of the coaches and top trainer, bringing his kid up in the ring. So if you're working with your kid and you're young, got your kid coming up from the early age so he can be at the top of this game, make sure you teach him in textbook boxing form. So the fight's getting ready to be announced. You guys, I told you we were about to get it in. I'm going to break this thing down. This is my guy, Jimmy Lennon Jr. I remember kicking it with him out there in Vegas. He's a good dude. He ain't changed a bit. Good gracious. That guy is taking, like, he's Benjamin Button pills. This is it, man. I am so pumped. Let me know down in the comment boxes who you got in this fight, because I'm definitely going to check you whenever this thing is over. I want you guys to stay locked in, because Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia is about to jump off. They're about to announce it. And like I said, we're going to have several sections to this. First, we're going to break down what each fighter should be doing during each round. The next thing that we're going to do is make sure that you guys understand what adjustments should be made. So if you train, you need to listen, because you're going to learn what exactly adjustments you should make in between rounds and why. That's what's going to be the unique takeaway. And third, we're going to make sure that we score each round. I'm going to keep it up to par. And then you have to learn, what is it that you need to do to catch up? How do you need to learn particular techniques, how to walk your fighter down, how to use and implement the 5 layers of defense to turn the fight around? Because defense, if you got great defense, that begets and creates offense. Always remember that no matter what it is, if you got great defense, hence is why people like Sugar Ray Leonard, all of these killers, Muhammad Ali, he had a great jab, but spectacular defense. It's hard to hit that guy. I mean, literally, you never saw him cut. Very rare did you ever see him swollen. Joe Frazier was the only one that put that lump on. And what's his name? Not Henry Armstrong. What's my guy? Armstrong from the UK. Man, he caught him good. But I'm telling you, other than that, you just out of 50, 60 fights, I think it was 55 and 5. Never cut. Never. And he was a heavyweight. It's hard not to get hit in the heavyweight division. So the way that he did it, it was 5 layers. And I'm going to break down in between rounds what those layers are. And the other part of that is making it really clear what exactly goes on when you got these different drills. Because one of the questions that was posed was, what is fighting off your back foot, right? So you got fighting off your front foot and you have fighting off your back foot. Output fighters, they fight going on their front foot, right? So when you got an output fighter, like I said, that's a Mike Tyson. That's a guy who's coming. Rocky Marciano, Jack Dempsey, guys who are coming to take your head off. And so those guys, they fight off the front foot. That's what Gennady Golovkin did. But when Canelo figured out how to maneuver and to utilize his feet and understand ring generalship, then that's where he became more of an input fighter and was able to deal with Triple G just so much better. And then now this is how you take your back foot and you start implementing it. So when you're fighting off your back foot, what that does is it takes your opposition who wants to come at you, it takes their base away. It makes them shift and turn their feet. And what you can do with that is you can set them up for punches when a fight is not going your way. That's exactly what Ryan Garcia did when he fought Devin Haney a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. He got on his back foot and walked Devin Haney into punches after he stopped being who he normally is, which is an offensive fighter, an aggressive fighter, offensive, and then he transcended. And he took a little bit from one style and he took a little bit from another style and he merged the worlds. And that's why he was so difficult to deal with that night. You never knew where the target was going to be. And so here I'm going to go through. This is the textbook. And here are the footwork drills that you can do to get off your back foot. The fight's getting ready to start. And in between rounds, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about how the different drills that you will be able to do. But remember, stick around because at the end, we got something special for you. You didn't see it coming. And in the meantime, you can actually go ahead and hit that QR code. But learn about what exactly you're going to get when you do that. Fight's about to begin. In round 1, Canelo Alvarez takes the angle. He's doing exactly what I said. He's assessing the data using lateral footwork. Hands up high in the peekaboo style of boxing. I can tell he's ready to throw uppercuts because he's tipping with his elbow tipped into his hip, and that means he's going to set up for an uppercut. So you can expect Jaime going to eat some uppercuts tonight for sure. Canelo's very relaxed as he circles. He got his defense nice and tight. He's really relaxed, but he's really strong. Munguia don't know exactly how to approach, but he's definitely on his front feet. Remember this as we talk. He's walking towards Canelo. He's walking to his front feet. He throws a nice jab, stiff and hard. It's going to burn a lot of energy throwing it that hard straight out of the gate. Nice jab, triple jab. Adds the right hand to it. Munguia's looking really, really confident, but nervous still. Strong. Canelo throws a looping right hand led by a jab just to set it up. Munguia's throwing a triple jab. Canelo throws a very hard haymaker. One that he wants to send a message to Munguia that this is not going to be that night for you, champ. Canelo hands is up high. I think Munguia is really, really, really trying to be impressive. He's throwing hard jabs, one to the body, one up top. Little head movement. You can tell he's been in camp with someone like Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach will polish up those little holes that he has. He throws a nice 3-punch combination, 1-2-1, penetrating Canelo's defense. But Canelo, like I said, he's been here before. He's still relaxing. Canelo's walking forward, but defensively responsible. He's looking. Canelo walks in, throws a couple of punches to the body, leads with a throwaway jab just to get those body shots. Munguia ties him up. And I think for sure that Freddie Roach has made it clear. You got to tie up this guy. He's an animal. Canelo hands up. Oh, Canelo throws a hard hook to the head and one right hook to the body. Munguia tries to throw a jab to get Canelo back. Canelo throws a right hook to the side of the kidney again. Canelo's keeping that defense nice and clenched. They exchange hooks. Munguia throws a 3-punch combination. Canelo's taking his energy away. Canelo goes to the body twice. Hard. Munguia throws a nice hook, misses, sticks out a jab. He's conscious to throw the jab. But one thing that people don't understand about being in this boat, Munguia circling left to right, lateral movement. What you guys are just hearing right now is Munguia is burning a lot of energy. So it seems like this guy's coming out with confidence. But one thing's for sure, no matter how much you train, you cannot overcome exhaustion if you don't understand breathing and output. See, outputs is everything. Knowing how to be calculated with it, that comes from youth. When you're very young and you're boxing, you don't quite understand how much you should be throwing, when you should be throwing, and how you should be actually throwing the punch and how you should not be throwing punches. You have to get respect. Canelo was blocking, walking him down, catching the shots, countering to the body, picking his shots, resting for 15 to 18 seconds, catching, blocking, slipping. I'll give Munguia the first round just on fate alone. But Canelo is collecting data, input fighter. Remember that. Canelo throws a hard hook. Munguia throws a feint, nice jab to the body. Canelo jab to the head. Canelo right hook to the head. Both of these guys are throwing hard shots, but there's one of these guys who's calculated, and the other one is just young. Right uppercut, left hook to the body. Canelo throws a right hook to the arm of Munguia. A right hook to the hip, led by a double jab. Munguia misses. Canelo lands a left hook to the head. Munguia pumps 3 hard jabs, double hard jab again. Another 2 hard jabs and a right hook to the body by Munguia. Munguia, another 2 hard jabs. Canelo is throwing what we call hinge punches, which is high elbow punch. Munguia eats an uppercut and a hook from Canelo, takes another right to the arm, a left to the wrist by Canelo. Munguia throwing a lot of good energy, using a lot of good energy, throws a nice right hand, left hook to the body of Canelo, right hand to the face. Canelo is touching him back. They're exchanging with force and power. Munguia is game, and Canelo realizes this guy's serious. Canelo sticks a shot to the gut, uppercut, solar plexus. They both are kind of recovering. Munguia's still a little antsy. Canelo's recovering, catching his breath in the middle of the ring. Hook right hand, hard. Munguia eats it, comes back, throws a jab. Canelo's in posture. He's in the shell. He's about to use second phase, which is the shoulder, elbows and shoulders to roll those punches. This is the 5 layers of defense, you guys, I'm talking about. Canelo's back in the pocket. Munguia throws a combination up top. Another combination by Munguia, defended by Canelo. Canelo looks like he's really feeling the energy being released by Munguia. Munguia almost falls throwing a punch, catches his balance. He's very conditioned. Canelo is throwing hard shots. Nice combination to the body, sternum. Another sternum shot. right hook by Canelo. Another hook to the body by Canelo. Munguia is consistently throwing a jab. Another short, straight right, sitting down in the stance by Canelo. Munguia's throwing combinations. Another hook to the arm by Canelo. Munguia 1-2 up top. Munguia's postured in a shell kind of posture, hands up high, jab to the body. End of round 2. I think I'm going to have to go with Munguia on that one as well. This is kind of weird. But like I said, with input fighters, you got to collect the data. What Canelo's figuring out now is the guy's energy and output. This guy has a very good energy, but now this is the first half of the fight. Remember that when you're young, you don't understand how important it is to know how much to go into the output. So what I tell Canelo now is to get back on the lateral stick, get lateral and set up the counters off of the hard jab. And that's where you can throw the right hook to the kidney and go left, go right, and keep him from throwing shots, because Canelo's getting in that position where he's high guard and he's allowing Munguia to get off more punches. He's throwing combinations. He's tripling the jab. He's going to the body and head. That's Munguia. So I have to give him round 2. Even though Canelo hit him with some hard shots clean, Munguia's output is real, and he's meaning it. But Canelo is still collecting the data, and I think Canelo just eats a right hook by Munguia. Eats a hook by Munguia. Canelo throws 2 to the body. Munguia throws a hook up top. Canelo needs to move more. Canelo just eats a 4-punch combination by Munguia, and it looks like Munguia is comfortable. And it looks like Canelo is figuring things out still. But Munguia, this is why having experienced coaches is so important. Munguia is truly looking confident. Canelo catches him with an uppercut. He has to tire him out. Munguia isn't having to think about what he's throwing. So Canelo needs to change the angle. 2 to the body by Canelo. Solar plexus shot. Little short right uppercut by Canelo. Munguia is answering every combination. 1-2 down the pipe. Bazookas by Canelo. Short upward hook by Canelo. Upward hook is a hook, but it's coming from almost an uppercut space. So you check it out. Good angle on this for camera. I like the way they changed the camera. Munguia misses a looping right hand. Canelo throws a hook, slightly misses. He hits him to the wrist again. He hits him to the arm again. He hits him to the sternum again. Canelo is picking different types of shots, and this is how you do it. Oh, Munguia catches Canelo with a right hand, snaps the neck, but you know Canelo got a chin. They exchange jabs. Munguia is moving. It's the 3rd round for those of you who are just popping in. This is definitely a real fight. Canelo throws 2 jabs. They're sturdy. They're stiff. Canelo's catching, blocking, hooks to the body. Munguia is going to feel these shots, but Canelo's going to feel those shots. Munguia feints, a double feints. Kind of has his hands like Sugar Ray Robinson doing that. And then what we call the handshake. Combination by Munguia misses. Canelo against the ropes, getting down in a low stance, shooting his jab. Punch wasn't that crispy. Munguia still throwing crispy shots. Threw one right to the hip of Canelo. Canelo needs to start going lateral. He's standing in front of him like he did with Bivol. He needs to start using the ring. That's exactly what I'm telling him. The minute he starts to use the ring, what happens is everything starts to happen for you. You don't have to say, do this once you start moving. Munguia just throw a 8-punch, 9-punch, 10-punch, 12-punch combination. Canelo only answers with 1 shot. This is something telling. Then Munguia gets on his back pedal. See, this is what I'm talking about when it comes down to fighting. That's 3 rounds for Munguia. This is starting to take shape and look like the Bivol fight. Canelo is looking like he's being hit. And this is where you got to realize that there are more than one ways to skin a cat. And if you start focusing textbook boxing, you'll understand exactly how to do this. It's not rocket science. But when you try to do it all in your head, and I'm talking about even you coaches, textbook. 52 weeks of textbook. If you don't understand that it's so many layers in boxing and so many skills and techniques and so much muscle memory to acquire that there is no way on the planet Earth that you can remember it all. So you need to refer to the textbook. And Canelo is getting some hands put on him. Now, remember, this is the first half of the fight. Munguia's using a lot of energy, and Canelo's still there. Canelo's in the pocket. They're both in the pocket. This is a real Mexican fight. And Canelo, I want him to realize that he doesn't have to be there. He can change this thing up because this fight is not going in his direction. They have it 2-1 on the on their scorecard. They gave Canelo the second round. Either way, Canelo's down. Munguia. Canelo comes up with an uppercut, catches Munguia. Did he hurt him at all? Munguia gets on his bicycle a little bit, throws another 6-punch combination. Canelo catches him with a hard hook. Overhand right by Canelo. Down jab. Right to the body. Canelo pulls. He didn't counter. Oh, 1-2 down the pipe. Canelo Alvarez. Hard shots. Left hook to the top. That's what I was trying to explain to you guys the other day. When he starts throwing those shots to the temple, eardrum, that's where no matter how good your skill and your chin is, you can't take those shots. This is inside fighting. Inside calculated fighting. Munguia's doing a hell of a job. Canelo Alvarez just throws a hard 1-2 with a menacing look on his face because he's tired of this kid being there competing. Canelo's about to bring him into what we call more of the deep water game. That means getting him into a position where I know he knows he can fight. Canelo with a short uppercut on the inside. Canelo against the ropes. Munguia pushing him back to the ropes, throwing a jab. Canelo misses a right hook. Canelo needs to set his punches up and stop focusing on punching and allowing the punch to come to him. Uppercut by Canelo, counter by Munguia. Overhand right by Munguia, catches Canelo. 1-2 by Munguia. 1-2 by Munguia. 1-2 come back by Canelo. Double uppercut. Right hand by Canelo. Right hook to the back of the shoulder. Uppercut. Munguia's down. Canelo drops him with an uppercut. Hook right. Good night. He's up. What a fight. Canelo was sitting down on his punches. Munguia throwing too many punches. There you go. Canelo. 4th round. 1-2 by Canelo. Canelo's collecting, getting his energy up to throw shots. Munguia answers with a right hand. Canelo back with an uppercut. Nice jab. Hook right. Canelo. Back to the center of the ring. Canelo. He pulls off of the straight right by Munguia. Into the round 4. 10-8 round. Cinnamon is back in the building. That is what you call inside fighting. Taking them to school a little bit with counter punching, setting it up. Finally, right to the back of the shoulder, like I said he was doing, taking some of the steam off Munguia, and then throw the uppercut after the hook, and then throw another body shot as he's going down. Bam, boom. Arm punches, arm punches, arm punches, back of the shoulder, arm punches, wrist, all of it counts. Now Munguia's arm's going to get heavier and heavier. Uppercut. He snapped his neck back with that uppercut. So beautiful. Skills is what pays the bills when you understand how to get that PhD in boxing. Canelo is getting his mind right. Canelo's getting his mind right. Canelo's getting his mind right. They back out in the middle of the ring, round 5. This is a Mexican fight. 1-2 by Canelo, misses the right hand. Munguia comes back with a 1-2. Does he understand how not to throw those punches and leave his feet when he throws a 1-2? That's the recipe for disaster, people. Canelo in the middle of the ring. Canelo has the lead on their scorecard, 38-37 with that knockdown. Canelo walking him down behind the high guard. But what Canelo needs to do now is start hooking off of that jab when he throws it. Canelo catches it with one of the 5 layers of defense, catches it with the inside of his palm. He catches an uppercut. I promise, don't try that. Canelo throws a 1-2-3 punch combination, closes it out with a double jab. Munguia's in the back of the corner. They back to the center of the ring. Canelo's hands up high, counters with the rolling shoulder. Munguia's right hand. Canelo counters with a right hand. Uppercut, hook right, same combination that he knocked him out with. He got back up. He threw another same combination. Uppercut, hook, hook back to the body. Double jab out. That's how you do it. Finish with that jab. Start with the jab, finish with the jab. Munguia tries to throw combinations. He looks a little weaker than he did before. The punch don't have the same snap on it. You know why? Because those arm shots. Munguia eats a double stiff jab, bazooka jab. His mouth is a little bit more open than it was earlier. Canelo catches him with a little short hook, hard jab. Munguia's throwing multiple jabs, using excessively too much energy. He's throwing little light flurries on Canelo. Canelo's in the pocket, waiting for that uppercut. I told you guys at the beginning that Canelo was setting up an uppercut. Another hook to the arm by Canelo. He's mastered that. He's mastered that. That's what we call craft in boxing. Hands up. Right hook by Canelo. It looked like that could have dropped him if he would have caught him even. Oh, left hook by Canelo. Munguia's walking back. 1-2-1 by Canelo. Straight right, left jab. Straight push. He's pushing Munguia back with the 1-2. Little short hook. Canelo snapping those punches, and it's showing on Munguia. Uppercut by Canelo. Munguia takes 4 steps back. Munguia's trying to come back. That's heart. That's courage. It's also youth. Canelo feints a jab, throwaway punch. Munguia misses a big arm. He misses a big punch, and he shakes his arm. That says, get that. It's off. That hit the bottom. Hit the bottom. Yeah, hit the bottom. Yeah. There you go. And hit the bottom. Not cancel, but the one above that. The bottom, third down. Yeah. Bingo. There you go. Yeah, there we go. So that's what's up. Canelo throws very, very sorry, guys. Pause. Canelo stuck the jab right in his face. And when he stuck the jab in his face, the wear and tear, those hard punches, remember, calculated. Watch the video from yesterday. If you did not watch the video from yesterday, make sure you watch the video from yesterday where I'm telling you that he's picking his shots calculated and they're doing more damage. You can't do this at phase 1 of your career. You can't do this at phase 2. Power over time settles in, and Canelo has more efficient power. This is real, people. Canelo Alvarez is bringing the smoke. Round 6. Canelo just won that round. Canelo throws a shot that could have took the part of the cheese off of the moon if he would have landed. Canelo's shifting his hips, adjusting his trunks, but I think he's trying to tell people it's time for this kid to go. Canelo's coming in, looking at, oh man, his punch looks so sharp. Canelo catches this punch and gives it back, feints. Hook off the jab. He finally threw it. He threw the hook off the jab. I don't want to sound like I'm going for Canelo, but this is just exciting. Uppercut, hook, solar plex finish by Canelo. Finishing by the solar plexus shot shows you've been groomed in the proper school. Reynoso and these guys have done a decent job, and I know Canelo studies on his own. But remember, all of this stuff, you can't just learn it. You got to understand that it's all about textbook. Now Canelo's using the ring. Lateral movement to set up the next shots that are going to be powerful. Hook right by Canelo Alvarez. Jab right to the body by Canelo Alvarez. Catching the shots by Munguia with his elbow, like we say. Make sure you use all 5 layers of defense. Feet, hands, elbows. Canelo's blocking with elbows, where most people don't understand that language. Canelo throws a combination. Munguia trying to get low. Canelo catches him with a hook. in the center of the ring. Beautiful camera angles. Munguia throws an 8-punch combination that he'll regret. He threw an 8-punch combination, but he's young. He's learning. Volume is good when you understand how to put the volume out. You don't press your pedal to the metal and drive full speed the entire time you're driving. You got to understand how to drive. You got to understand when to drive. You got to understand how much gas you got in that car. You can't just press it to the pedal or the metal full throttle consistently all the time. This is a great fight. Canelo is punishing this guy's arms. Nice hard jab. Another hard jab by Canelo. Munguia drops his hands. Canelo tries to wipe his nose with the left hook. Misses by like a couple of inches. Hands up high. Canelo. Munguia is moving in and out, trying to find a nice range to box at. He's boxing out on the outside, throwing hooks to the body. Munguia's trying to get himself back to the fight. He's trying to get back into the fight. He's a little bloody in the nose. Canelo catches him with a hook. Canelo looks at him like it's time to take you to school, young man. Munguia's game, though. He's fighting. This is no one-sided fight. I'm going to tell you. I'm just saying, over the past 2 rounds, Canelo's found his place. But I'm trying to tell you, this is a real fight. There is no one. This is not a one-sided fight by any means. Munguia seems to have recovered from the knockdown. Devin Haney had recovered from the knockdown as well, but that doesn't mean your faculties are all the way back. You just have done this so many times that muscle memory is kicking in. And remember, no matter what happens, implement. Whoa, Canelo, they'd show a replay of him hitting him with that straight right. That's the kind of straight right that if it lands in the 9th round, good night. Mexico. Is it frozen? No way. That thing went off. So what you got to remember is each round that the success is happening, Canelo's implementing the 5 layers of defense in it. He's hook right again by Canelo. Right hook to the body. Canelo looks energized. He looked like it's the 7th round. So this means he has a second side end of the second half of the fight energy, getting ready to dump and see what this kid has. Because this kid has put out a lot of energy early in the fight. Canelo hook right. I don't think Munguia can take 2 more of those. Right hook by Canelo, counter by Munguia. Jab, right hand by Munguia. Another right hand by Munguia. Canelo answers with a jab. Munguia answers with a double jab. Canelo answers with a jab. 2-3 by Canelo. Misses. 1-2 by Canelo. Touches him with the right hand. Munguia still active, still looking strong, still looking young. Doing what he needs to do. But remembering, he's doing a lot of in and out movement, using a lot of energy with his legs and his punches. If Canelo wasn't as sturdy and solid as a veteran, then it would be different. But the reality is Canelo is really, really got experience. Another right to the arm by Canelo. See, this is the thing that you got to realize that, hook to the body, uppercut to the head by Canelo, left. Right hook to the liver. Left hook to the liver, right hook to the kidney. Munguia throwing combinations, Canelo's against the rope. Munguia's throwing, his punches don't have the same snap. Canelo's throwing hard stuff. I think Munguia is feeling these punches. Canelo, hook right by Canelo. They're standing off. This looks like the 15th round of Ali Frazier. Canelo throws a hard jab right hand. Munguia throws soft triple jab with nothing on it. He throws a nice little hook to the body. Canelo walks him down, walks towards him. This is a beautiful rendition of boxing. Isn't it still not doing anything? So what you'll do is hit that circle, hit that circle at the top, and just end it, and then restart it. Restart another one. There you go. Oh, nice combination by Munguia. Ooh, hook counter by Canelo. 3-punch combination by Canelo. Munguia comes back with a shot. I know Canelo's thinking, what is keeping his kids up? I still give that round right there to Canelo. The punches were just too hard, too clear. How many was there? Yeah, do it all over again. Just hit the middle part. Boom. Yes. And so what you guys got to think about right now is when you're at that stage of a fight in the corner, we have to decide. It's the second half of the fight. So this is where strategy really kicks in. Strategy for having the ability to fight the second half of the fight to get this guy out of there. So zoom it with your fingers, spread it. Having the wherewithal to get this guy out of there and not commit and get yourself exhausted. This is where you're calculating with hooks off the jabs, feinting this guy out of position, throwing shots to the hip and to the armpit, right up under the arm, right over the top of the shoulder, keeping him banged out, and then sneaking that left uppercut right to the chin and bring it back. Boom, bam. He never will see it coming. And this is simple, but you can't just say, do that. You have to understand how to whisper it. And then you have to understand what language to do, how to deliver it. The language is the most important part. So when you're watching this, Canelo's kind of got a sizey lead now. And he's just pacing himself, which is what he should do. He's trying to see what this kid is coming out with. Let him gas out a little more. He's anxious. Make a miss, catch him while he's in there. Nice hook by Canelo. Munguia's throwing shots. Canelo's just too defensively responsible to eat any of these shots clean. Canelo's just being a stalker. Hooks to the hip. Like I said, do hooks to the hip right at the top of the belt line. Not illegal if the ref don't see it. Get the referee to your right, hit him with the left. Munguia throws a nice 5-punch combination. He's burning a lot of energy. Like Canelo's that guy that's going to just go down from one shot. And so this is what young fighters don't understand. He's throwing hard shots. Canelo's just taking his time and catching all the punches. And Canelo's going to wait for him to gas out and counter him. He wants the kid to throw punches so he can catch him and counter him when he's exhausted from throwing. And so you can't tell a young fighter that, though. They think they have conditioning and they can just throw forever, but they just don't understand there's levels in boxing. Canelo was just warned. I think he may have hit him somewhere. I didn't see it because I was looking away. But I'm telling you, another right to the elbow by Canelo, then a shotgun jab to follow it. So imagine getting hit with an elbow to the elbow. Oh, Canelo, uppercut hook twice by Canelo. Hook by Canelo, one of those Canelo hooks. Hook, uppercut by Canelo. Instead of a 4-3, he throws a 3 and a 4. 3 is a hook, 4 is an uppercut. Oh my gosh. He's putting them the things together. Canelo is super slick with his combinations. 1-2 by Canelo. Munguia is kind of trying to stand his ground, but I'm telling you, when you're standing your ground against a guy like Canelo, you got to have your stuff together because this kid is really, really, really experienced. Munguia is throwing his combinations. Canelo's like, okay, you hitting me low. This is exactly what I was saying yesterday at the weigh-in. Canelo is taking him down that lane. Canelo is making him think twice about anything that he could possibly do. Thank you guys for tuning back in over here. They flowing back in now. Canelo is doing what we call bringing them into deeper waters and making them realize and make the same mistakes that he made when he came out. Using too much, shooting too hard. We call that front running in the sport of boxing. And how do you keep that front and center? Canelo's not even utilizing too much ring work now that he has the kid where he wants him. So when you're watching a fighter like this, How do you go and decipher what you need to do in the corner? So what Munguia needs to do is start learning. I don't know if he's been taught how to do this. Is when he let his punches go, he let his punches go in less hard flurries, and then lateral movement. This is what I mean by the 5 layers of defense. This is where you got to do the Ali circles to the left or the right and take the guy off of a mark from trying to counter, because that's what Canelo's going to do. You got to not just throw punches. You can't throw punches and be there. You got to throw punches and you got to be out of there. Canelo's setting them up again. They're in the center of the ring, and Canelo's just like level changing. Canelo's doing the level changing and making sure that everybody knows that this kid is getting out of here. But I said it's going to go to. I think it'll go the distance. But Canelo just proved he can just put the kid down with a shot. Ooh, body shot attack. Inside battle. They're testing each other out again. Canelo throws another uppercut. Munguia just game. He's game. He's a game fighter. He's hitting Canelo with some good shots. He hits Canelo with a clean combination. Canelo hits him back. This is a real Mexican fight. They are exchanging in the center of the ring. Canelo catches him on the chin. Looks like his face twisted when he's coming back with combinations. Canelo's coming back. Man, Canelo can hit. Wow. 3-punch combination by Canelo. Whoa. Combinations by Canelo. Munguia throwing his little flurry. Not the same steam on it. Oh, he touches Canelo to the body. Canelo said he's hitting him low. I told you he's controlling the fight by making sure that he's controlling the fighter. And that's what you call the matador approach. If you want to learn more about doing this, you got to realize it's so important that you understand. Canelo with a left hook back to the center of the ring after the referee warns Munguia. And Canelo's in control of the referees and the fighter. That's what you call mastery. That's the Jordan rule. Munguia with a good combination on Canelo. Uppercut hooks twice. Got Canelo standing back to the center of the ring. Canelo counters. Munguia throws all the energy that he has out. Canelo forces him with his hands. He's using the 5 layers of defense. Like I said, tactical elbow usage, hand posturing, knowing how to use his shoulders, knowing how to catch him with a hook right good night in the middle of the ring. That's exactly what you're seeing right now. Beautiful boxing. Hook to the body. Hook to the head by Canelo. Munguia comes back with a triple jab with nothing on it. Canelo's just waiting. Canelo's walking him around. This is another phase of the 5 layers. Is when you take them and you walk them where you need them to be. And you disrupt his thoughts. When you disrupt his thoughts, what happens is he can't figure out how to throw that punch that he's been practicing on with mitts, with him and Freddie Roach in the gym, because he's not having his feet planted. You're not standing where the mitt guy was standing. You're turning them. And this is drill number 3. Ali. The Ali, walk him around. You just got to walk him around. You got to take him off his. And remember, you couldn't remember all this stuff if you recorded this video and watched it later, which you can watch it later on YouTube and Facebook. But the thing about this is you got to remember, you need to have a thing that you refer to. Or what are you going to do? Refer to all those videos you saved in your phone? I don't think so. You don't know. They don't have a day on them. They don't have a title on them. You got to have a reference. Textbook boxing is what Canelo Alvarez is doing to this kid. Canelo's back on the lateral movement. Now he's setting up what you call the pain stuff. He's going to set him up and catch him in angles. These are the championship rounds by Canelo Alvarez. Round 10. He's walking him. He's taking a little venture around the ring. Canelo's walking him around. He understands where he want to hit this kid. He understands how he wants to hit this kid. And the only thing you got to remember is that this kid is going to have to face the dust. Munguia is so game, though. Canelo hits him to the front of the sternum with a straight punch. Boom! Tied up in the inside clinch. Little short inside uppercut. He got a lot of that Jersey Joe Walker. Ooh, a nice exchange in the middle of the ring. Munguia gets Canelo with a good shot. Canelo comes back with a combination. Munguia counters. Canelo another shot to the elbow. Beautiful, beautiful boxing. Hip shot by Canelo. Like I said, he's taking away reserves. This kid doesn't even know he's going to lose. Canelo with an uppercut. Canelo's setting up another powerful shot. He's setting up one of those kind of punches that the referee stands over you and counts 8. Good combination by Canelo. Munguia misses his shot. Canelo counters with a hook right to the body. Using the elbow trap, one of the 5 layers of defense. Canelo is understanding how to use this against this kid who truly does not understand defensive responsibility. Canelo throws a throwaway and finishes it with an uppercut. And a throwaway punch is when you feint a guy out of position, making him think one punch is coming, and then it comes from a different direction. Mastered by my Mexican compadre, El Terrible, Eric Morales, one of the greatest offensive fighters to ever lace him up. Canelo Alvarez with the uppercut on the inside. Munguia throws a nice combination. Canelo back in the pocket. Munguia back in the pocket. They going toe-to-toe. Canelo throws a 1-2 clean shot, setting him up for the uppercut. I knew he was doing it. A 1-2 by Canelo knocks the sweat off of Munguia's head. Munguia comes back with a flurry, throws a nice combination. Canelo's answering with a short, straight right hand, bodies him out of the center of the ring, using the elbow once again, learning how to use that masterful boxing the same way the greats always did. The Jersey Joe Walcott's a nice 1-2 by Canelo Alvarez in the center of the ring. He's on that Roberto Duran stuff. Canelo gets into the Philly shell, rotates the body. This is what we call masterful boxing using basic textbook boxing. Things that typically wouldn't be in your mind to do because there's so many things to know in boxing. Any of you ever try to learn boxing, or any of you fight? You ever seen your fighter just not remember the most basic thing to do, like throw a jab? That's why you got to come from the textbook. This is real. This is real. Now, what Munguia needs to do right now is he needs to learn how to throw a double jab, step to the side, double step, double jab again, double step, feint the jab the next time. And when the opposition is trying to cover up, he's going to bring his hands down and the right hand comes. And that's how you get flash knockdowns. So it's just so many different trips. 11th round, people. It's going into the 11th round. Canelo is in the turtle shell. Nice stiff jab by Canelo. Moving laterally. Now he's using the ring. Being smart. All 5 layers of defense are being implemented by Canelo now. He's being smart and calculated. He's been an input fighter, collecting a little more data so he can do what he came to do, which is finish the job. Munguia is feinting. Nice double jab by Munguia. Munguia still has good energy, throwing good punches. He's still dangerous. Canelo catches him with another hook right. Munguia is on his toes, throwing a jab. He's definitely developed as a boxer. Eats a left hook by Canelo and a jab. Munguia triples the jab. Munguia again with a nice jab. He got the energy to fight 12 rounds that way. Head movement. They both are being defensively responsible, trying to get themselves centered in the middle of the ring. What this is called is posturing. They're trying to posture and figure out where the holes are. But both of them are playing and fighting so good on the mid-range and the inside, which is where the majority of the fight is taking place, that it's hard to find anything just wide open. So you got to know these tricks. You got to understand. You got to go into your textbook, and then you got to learn how to use this thing. Use your defense, the footwork to create offense. When a fight is difficult to find holes in against your opposition, what you're missing is your lateral movement or biting off your back foot. If you're not doing these things, what's going to happen is it's just going to be a tough fight, and you're probably going to lose a decision. Counter uppercut by Canelo. They're on the inside in the pocket again. This is what you call fighting on Cinco de Mayo weekend. Canelo and Munguia back in the center of the ring. They standing on the DraftKings logo. They might as well just put a phone booth in the center of the ring and let them just stand there and fight. Munguia catches Canelo with a nice combination. Canelo's just kind of chilling, setting him up, finding other shots. You know, Canelo sees things that you guys don't see him see. Good inside fighting, though. He's shifting the shoulders, and what we call in the pocket. There's a fighter that I work with, and he was WBC Intercontinental Champion at the time. But all he did, he liked to work in the clinch. He liked to figure out how to use the clinch. Canelo throws a 3-punch combination. 8 seconds to go. Munguia is eating some good shots. He's throwing some good shots. He got good energy, but he knows this is a different fight than he thought it would be. This is him getting educated like Floyd educated Canelo. You got to remember, man, it's levels in boxing. So just because you're training hard at the gym does not mean that you're not in a place where you don't have to really, really learn that there's other levels in boxing. All of you guys, I don't want you to ever get to a place where you don't understand how to operate in the ring. So you want to go down here to this QR code. If you got your phone directly in front of you, go to that QR code and get the free gift. We are giving you guys the 5 layers of defense right there. So make sure you put your phone up there, hit that QR code, go you watch the 5 layers of defense on us. Those guys over here on TikTok, you can't get access to it unless you go over to YouTube and find me, or over the Instagram. But make sure you do that so you can use that. If not, you can go to masterboxingllc.com and check it out. This is on us. Special gift from us to you. Here we go. Canelo Alvarez, this is the final round. They're about to go into it. Oh, they exchange hooks. Canelo's in the pocket looking for a hole. Canelo's in the pocket. Shotgun jab. Hard hook by Canelo. Canelo throws a right hook, left hook. Munguia throwing his combinations. Canelo's defense is just a little too solid. Canelo, they exchange again. Canelo shoots an uppercut, barely misses. Throws a 1-2-3 by Canelo. Canelo's finding the holes, finding the spots. Munguia eating a couple of body shots, throws a body shot. Canelo throws one back. In the pocket, high guard, overhand right by Canelo. Hinge punch by Canelo. Shotgun jab by Canelo. Jaime Munguia throwing combination still. Good footwork, hopping on his feet, using good energy. But like I said, you got to know what direction that you're needing to be fighting in. But just moving, Canelo with an uppercut to the body, left hook up top. Beautiful boxing. Straight left to the body, right hook to the body by Canelo. Canelo's throwing some violent shots inside in that paint. Moving around, setting up the next punch. Canelo throws a right hook to the arm. Hook to the head by Canelo. Canelo has really minimized Munguia's output. Only 36 punch. Oh, hook right by Canelo. Rocks Munguia. 54 seconds, 52 seconds left to go in the round. He almost had him out there on Quiz Street. Canelo back in the pocket, finding another hole. He's going to take about 15 seconds of deep breath, and then he's going to try to close the deal. Nice counter hook by Canelo. Munguia lunges in. Like I tell you guys not to do. Don't leave your feet. This is boxing. Canelo's trying to clip him with that uppercut. Uppercut. Inside boxing. Inside boxing. Hook right by Canelo. Last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Uppercut by Canelo. Ooh, 1-2 by Canelo. Game time. I don't need to really talk about the scorecards, but I do need to tell you this. When you're going into this boxing and you're talking about high-level boxing, you must understand, you know it's levels to this game. And when you are going into this thing and you don't understand everything that's required, the 5 layers of defense, the 12 stages of boxing, the 4 phases of approaching this game, it's so many different things that you need to compartmentalize when you're going into this thing to do it for real. Because one of the things that'll happen is you'll forget. And if you're training somebody, you don't have reference, you're going to lose it, because the heat of a fight totally takes you off of what you are thinking about. What was the most basic thing you could do? This is why you find coaches always having to go look at tape after the fight that they've lost, because they don't understand how important it is. I got to learn from generals in this game. I got to learn from guys who covered this game for over the past 134 years. And if you gotta realize how serious this sport is, you better know that you can't keep it all up here. You're not Moses. You can't keep everything stored up here. And if you do, you got to know what to call upon muscle memory wise. These are layers to this thing that you got to know. So remember, let's keep it simple. First, master the 5 layers of defense by going right there to that QR code right there and using that. That's on us. Use your phone. If you don't, go to masterboxingllc.com. Just use it. Just use it, because this is serious. If you're serious about boxing and you're doing this thing for real, we want you to make sure that you got this game covered. In order to make sure you got it covered, you got to understand the game from a physiological standpoint, textbook standpoint. It got to be like your ABCs. You got to have a reference guide. That makes sense to you? That makes sense to you? Come on, TikTok, holla at your boy. Come on, YouTube, where you at? This is important. You can't make this up. Look at here, my people. I ain't even get an opportunity to answer questions. Make sure if you got questions, drop them down in the comment boxes. We'll get to them now or later. But this was fight. I'm gonna sum this fight up. Canelo Alvarez came out with the mindset to collect the data. From that point on, Canelo Alvarez realized that this kid was throwing punches to try to take his head off early. Jaime Munguia was in a position all night to throw heavy shots from the outside, mid-range, and then they went toe-to-toe in the pocket. Once he got in the pocket, he realized that there were different techniques and tactics that Canelo Alvarez was using. First, he was using all 5 layers of defense, positioning himself where he wanted to be in the ring by creating lateral movement. Then he would get in the pocket and understand how to block and use his elbows. And that's where he caught him with the first hook right, good night, dropped him, because he understood how to be on the inside in the pocket, which is what Jaime Munguia does not understand about boxing yet. There are levels to this game, and there are layers that you have to learn. It's all about knowing and understanding boxing from a textbook manner. Once you can do that, you'll learn that there are more than just instincts in boxing. You have to learn to break this thing down. Canelo Alvarez wins unanimous decision over Jaime Munguia because he understood how to take him into areas that he's not educated in, or he does not have the muscle memory to operate. And when you are not operating basically out of that textbook, you're going to miss some things. And guess what you're going to be doing after the fight? You're going to be having to look at film and figure out why you lost. And then there's going to be one little thing. Oh, we didn't throw a jab enough. Oh, we stood in the pocket too long. It's always going to be one thing that you did. And I said, when you understand and master the 5 layers of defense, you'll know that you can set everything up by one different move, adding one thing. And if it's textbook, it's second nature. But if it's not, you're trying to sit there in the corner with all of the other coaches screaming and screaming, trying to get the fighter calm and trying to relay and delay messages, then everybody's over talking. This is what's wrong in boxing today. But Canelo Alvarez came in, showed up, and showed out. He showed you that there are levels to this game, and without those levels, you'll just be a victim. He was throwing shots to the elbows. He was throwing shots to the arm. He was throwing shots to the wrist. He was throwing shots to the hip. None of that you learn in technical boxing. So stop worrying about all this technique and understand that there are levels to this game that you have to acquire. And if you don't acquire these levels, you will never reach the highest. And if you do get there by some chance, you won't stay there. Canelo Alvarez, once again, becomes one of the most interesting figures in the sport of boxing in phase 3 of his career. He understands the first phase where he was active, throwing lots of combinations and burning a lot of energy, just like this guy, Jaime Munguia, was tonight, wasting energy, not having anything for the second half of the fight. And if you do have energy, you don't have the wherewithal on what to do with that energy. Phase 2, he figured out how to utilize the ring, learn all 5 layers of defense, textbook boxing, textbook boxing. And he's able to adapt and adjust to any fighter, collect the data, and then give it back to anyone at any time. He's going to give you all the smoke. And then phase 3, where he knows how to pick his shots now. He doesn't have to burn energy. He knows how to thud you. He knows how to hit you in places that's going to make you deficient in the second half of the fight. This is what you call boxing mastery. And he understands all 5 layers of defense. Click the QR code and it's on us. That's all we got, guys. Thanks for taking the time to hop in here with us. Remember, if you like learning about boxing, we want you to understand this. We teach boxing and we make sure that you get the upper echelon of education because you deserve it. Because if you're somewhere around this sport, even if you're a fan, you want more comprehension, continue to follow for more. And until next time, continue blessings. Our sponsors, Jab Juice Consultants for the combat world. All of you guys are trying to figure out what you're trying to do and expand your audience and become famous in what it is that you're doing. Go to jabjuice.com and holler at your people. That's all I got. Be blessed at Godspeed. Coach Eric A. Bradley signing out. This was a breakdown by the Real Fight Doctor calling the Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia Mexican Fight 2024 on Cinco de Mayo weekend. It don't get no better than this, baby. Cheers from South Florida. Peace.